Hello and welcome to my channel Crying Fly. My name is Steve and today I will show what's new in Fusion 360 here on Linux. Okay, I think we change to my desktop and then we start. So here we are, and the next one is we change to my GitHub channel Crying Fly. Then we change to my project Fusion 360 Linux Wine version. And you can see here that Fusion 360 works without DXVK now. And yes, you can see now the installation for openSUSE Leap, Ubuntu, Fedora, Manjaro, and I have also created a new instruction where you can install Fusion 360 with Flatpak. But this option here is experimental because Fusion 360, yes, you can install Fusion 360 here with Flatpak, but this doesn't work here at the moment. Here you can see this. You get this window here, but you can't log in with your data here in Fusion 360, and yes, this is the problem now. But I hope that I solved this problem in the future, so we can use also this option for use Fusion 360 here on Linux. But here when I scroll up here to Fedora, the installation here with Fusion 360 here on Fedora 33 and 34, this was so very hard, and so I think the option with the installation of Fusion 360 with Flatpak is a better option for the future. Good. I scroll up here to this one, and here you can see now that I have added two ways for A and for B. And the first option is when you will use WineTricks from the repositories, and the second option is when you're downloading the last WineTricks version, and yes, then you use this version for the installation of these three things here: Core Fonts, VC1 2017 and MXML4. And here you can see also that I have added these options here, the instruction of Ubuntu, and yes. But it's important for you that you know that you must also create a configuration file. Then with this configuration file we say to Fusion 360 that we will use OpenGL as our graphics driver, and when you forget this step here, then you can install Fusion 360, but you doesn't get to work Fusion 360 here without DXVK. And so it's very important that you creating this file here before you're running Fusion 360 in the first time. And this configuration file gives me the user, wait, I scroll down. The user DreamCat4 have created this file for me, and so I say here, DreamCat, thank you very much for your help, and yes, with his help I get Fusion 360 to work without DXVK, and so it doesn't need DXVK in the future, and we can use OpenGL. So, and when you're running Fusion 360 after the creating of this configuration file, you get the login screen where you can log in with your data, and then you come into the program and you can see now the workspace, the projects folders here on the left side, the menu bar, the timeline, the cube, and you can work now with this program and you doesn't need a restart or other things. And so I think this is very good now here for you to use this new instruction. But yes, I hope that I get here Fusion 360 in the future also to run here with Flatpak, and yes. And now you can see also this instruction here for Wayland, because some people give me a report where they have some problems when they use Wayland as your display manager, and with this instruction here you can solving some of these problems here now. And yes, so then I have added here in the last point the instruction when OpenGL doesn't work for you correctly, then you can use the old instruction where you install DXVK and use this with Fusion 360. Okay, and the last point what I will show you is that I'm now here the application maintainer of the project Fusion 360 on the WineHQ website. So I change it to this website, and here you can see now that I'm here the maintainer of this project now. And so it's important that you check my GitHub channel and also here the WineHQ website here, Fusion 360, because here you get some informations about the operation systems, the wine versions and other things. And when I click here on show all tests, then you can see now here my reports and also the other reports. And when we look down, then we can see yes, in the last time Fusion 360 doesn't work correctly, and now we can see here on the top, yes, Fusion 360 works now very good. And yes, so we come to the next point where I show you the installation of Fusion 360 here on my system. And so I close this here and go to the instruction for openSUSE. Yes, here is it. And here you can see now that I use here on my system openSUSE Leap 15.3. Yes, I have changed it to the new version of openSUSE Leap, and yes, it works very good. And I have changed also the wine version to the version 6.7, and this version is at the moment the newest version of wine. But this version here doesn't get from the standard repositories of openSUSE Leap 15.3. Yes, you get there a new version. This is the version 6.0, but this version doesn't work at the moment here with Fusion 360. And so it's important when you use also openSUSE Leap 15.3 on your system that you must install a new version here for the installation of Fusion 360. Okay, I think I show you my way to get the last version of Wine. So we opening Jest. Then we go to the software repositories. I maximize this one, and then you must adding these repositories. Yes, I know this is the repositories for openSUSE Leap 15.2, but for this version here what I use here on my system, yes, for this version we doesn't get repositories at the moment, and so we must use the repository for openSUSE lib 15.2. But this repository works also good here on my system, and yes, so you can also use this repositories. I copied this link in my video description, and so you can copy this link, and when you have copied this link, then you click here on adding, then on HTTP or HTTPS, then copy into this line here, and you give this a name. Next, next, and when you have added this one, then you can see this here in this list. Click on OK. Then we click here on software installation. We search for wine. Okay, here we can see now. Then it's important that you click here on versions. Then it's important that you select the last wine version. Okay, this is very important because the version 6.0 doesn't work correctly with Fusion 360. Okay, I'm closing this here. And here you can see now that I'm creating here for this example a new wine prefix. The name of it is Fusion 360, and I use also the last WineTricks version. Okay, so the first step here is, yes, you must check if your system is up to date. Okay, and yes, I have also installed these packages here, and yes, so we come to this point here 4b, because I will show you this way here when you're downloading the last WineTricks version, because on some Linux distribution you doesn't get the last WineTricks versions, and so you can downloading the last WineTricks version with this way here. So it's completed. We can check this now here. Okay, there is it. And here you can see all this text here. And when you will updating this WineTricks file, then you can opening this link here. Where is it? This link here into your file, into your internet browser. I show you that now. Wait. Here is it. Copy. And input. Okay, and then you must copy this text here into your file here. Where is it? There. And then you must saving this, and then you have the last WineTricks version. Okay. And now we will install these three things here: core fonts, Fauci Run 2017, and MXML4. So I copy this. So we're creating a new wine prefix, Fusion 360. Then we install these three things here with the option -Q, and with this option we doesn't accept all things here, so works the installation automatically. And yes, so I think I make here a little cut, and then we go on with the installation of Fusion 360 here on my system. So the installation with WineTricks is completed. The next one is I will change the Windows version here in the configuration of my wine prefix. To the Windows version 10. Then I check here the libraries, and here you can see now that we have doesn't install it here DXVK. Okay, and yes, accept. Okay, so then I clear this, and the next one is we creating a new folder, Fusion 360, and then we changing into this folder. So input, okay, and then we downloading the installer. Okay. So then we copy this comment here where we extracting the installer. Okay. Input. Okay. And the next one is I copy this comment here where we install Fusion 360 in our wine prefix, Fusion 360. Then I must also adding here the wine prefix. Okay. And now we install Fusion 360 in our wine prefix, Fusion 360, and yes, I make here also a little cut, and then we go on with the installation of Fusion 360. So the installation is completed, and the next one is we must yes, I see now here that I have also here this step here, but this step here doesn't need anymore because we don't use DXVK. And so we come to the steps 13 where we creating the configuration file, and yes. So then you must opening your file browser. For my example this is Tuner. And then you must go to this part here. Your wine prefix. In my example is Fusion 360. Then drive C, users, your username, application data, Autodesk, and this folder here, Nitro and platform. Here you can see this. And here we must creating a new folder. The name of it is options. okay, input, okay. Then we change into this one, and now we must creating this file here, and machine specific options point XML. Okay, create a new file, input, okay. Then we opening this file, and where is it? Here, okay. And then we copy this text here into this file, saving, close, and yes, okay. And then we can running Fusion 360 now. And I go here to Wine, right click, copy this comment here, clear, and input, okay, what happens? Okay, I know. Okay, Wine, right click, copy this comment, and selecting here my wine prefix Fusion 360, input, and running. And here you can see now it works. You see the Autodesk Fusion 360 logo here, and now you can see also here the login screen. And yes, I make here also a little cut, and then we go on. So now you can see here the logo, and yes, Fusion 360 downloading some files, and so you must wait for a little moment here. And here you can see now the workspace, and here on the right corner here the cube, and on the left side here also the structure of the projects folders here. You can see now. I maximize this. Yes, okay. And come on. And you can see also now here the menu bar. So I change to my project here. Here you can see it works. And you doesn't get here any graphics bugs here now, because we have say to Fusion 360 here. You can see now that we use here OpenGL as graphics driver, and yes, it works very good. And so you get another way to use Fusion 360 without DXVK now. And okay, I closing this here, and the last one is I opening the project, where you can see that Fusion 360 here works without DXVK. Okay, that was for today, and if you liked my video, then was good when you give me a thumb up please, and don't forget to subscribe my channel Crying Fly. And don't forget to click on the little bell here so you don't miss any news in the future. Okay, it was, and goodbye.